NFL Week 10 is over. It's time for the bottom line, live on the BLV. It's Mitch here with my review, my recap, my reaction. Truth serum about NFL Week 10. If you want to hear what really happened during Week 10, you sir, you ma'am, are in the right place. Because that's what I'm about to do. Give you my unfiltered, raw thoughts about Week 10. So if that sounds good, don't forget to spike the like button and subscribe for weekly NFL reviews. If you're wondering, Mitch, why was this not out on Tuesday morning? You say Tuesday morning, and you've been anticipating this show. I apologize. You know me. I usually do what I say and say what I do. But I was tired on Monday night. Not gonna lie. I couldn't. I tried. I was staring at the script. I was like, I just can't give the people 100%. Got a Bleacher Report show tomorrow. I want to watch everything I possibly can to give you the best show possible, and I just didn't have the energy to put forth 110%. So that's why I'm doing it now, and that's why you're seeing it a little bit later on Tuesday. Without further ado, let's get started with the NFL review show. Spike the like button in the comment section below. Your question for week number 10 is CJ Stroud the rookie sensation, the MVP of the NFL right now? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know your takeaway for week 10. And let's go. Let's start with Monday Night Football. The Denver Broncos, the Buffalo Bills. What a absolute disaster the Buffalo Bills have become. The Buffalo Bills lost to the Denver Broncos on a game-winning field goal in which Will Lutz missed the first attempt, and they had 12 men on the field. We hear earlier today, the special teams coordinator not fired. The man that was the 12th guy on the field not cut. The head coach responsible still has a job. The offensive coordinator that has led a top 5 offense this year fired? Huh? What kind of sense does that make? You fired Dorsey after that display by your defense against the Broncos at home? After that display in a clutch moment by your special teams? Talk about a scapegoat. So I apologize to Broncos fans right now because I want to talk about Sean Payton. I want to talk about Russell Wilson's resurgence. I want to talk about Vance Joseph and what he's done with this Broncos defense as of late. And I will talk about that. But first, I need to talk about the Bills. Because the Buffalo Bills, there is so much nonsense going around right now about this game. I mean, just check Twitter. It's absolutely absurd what people are saying about this game and about the Buffalo Bills. So my headline is Fire Sean McDermott. You can fire Dorsey if you like. He's gone. Cool. Do I think he was the reason? No. Do I think he's the best offensive coordinator in the league? No. Do I think the offense could really use a new voice? Potentially. I don't really feel like Dorsey is the reason this team has fallen off. I think you can sit here and you can blame injuries. You can say, we don't have Matt Milano. We don't have Tre'Davious White. We don't have Daquan Jones on defense. But think of it this way. The Buffalo Bills made one critical move this offseason to their coaching staff. They said, Mr. Old Man Frazier, Leslie, please depart. See you later. They said, thanks for your time. We don't want you anymore. Sean McDermott takes over play calling for the Buffalo Bills defense. Since week 5, the Buffalo Bills defense is dead last. Not 30th, not 15th, not top 10, not even second last. Dead fucking last in EPA on defense. Let me say that again. The Buffalo Bills, in case you don't understand what EPA means, are the worst defense in the NFL. The Buffalo Bills franchise, with Sean McDermott as the head coach of this football team, a defensive mind hired to be a good defensive coach. What else does the man actually do? Has a defense that is dead last in the NFL. A defense that features Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Von Miller, Ed Oliver, Gregory Rousseau, and a multitude of talented players. They went out and they signed Rasul Douglas. They traded for him from the Packers. They have Teron Johnson, a guy that many look at as a good, talented nickel cornerback. And some of these players have had their issues. Some of them have not played up to their standards. But it's all thanks to Sean McDermott, a guy that said, hey, Frazier, thank you for your time, but we're going to give you your papers, and we're going to see you later. McDermott, since you lost Matt Milano, you suck. You suck. You've played the Bucs, the Giants, the Broncos. You allowed 29 points to Mac Diddley Jones and the New England Patriots. That should be a fireable offense. You shouldn't even want to show your face. That is fireable on the spot. Have you watched the Patriots? They couldn't even score a touchdown versus the Colts. $29 points? And then you make Russell Wilson look like 2015 Russell Wilson. You make Tyrod Taylor look like a starting quarterback. The Giants, if anyone deserves to be fired for the Buffalo Bills, it's Sean McDermott. I mean, think about it. He has the worst defense in the league since week 5. He can't overcome injuries. The defense can't play man coverage. The defense doesn't bring any originality, creativity to the table lately. And the team does not respond to Sean McDermott's hard-ass mentality. This is a team built on fun. This is a team, when you watch the Bills, it's vibes. It's all about the vibes. When the Bills are laughing it up, having fun, with energy, with passion, they're celebrating. Josh Allen's running people over. Josh Allen is having a good time. Stephon Diggs is having a good time. When the vibes are high with the Bills, they're an unstoppable train. But with Sean McDermott on the sidelines with his just disgusting smirk, this team it feels like they're being collapsed by the pressure of Sean McDermott's ugly mug on the sidelines with his expressions of he's just a pouty, no good piece of garbage on the sidelines. Defense stinks. Look at the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. 45-yard line after you call, I will give you credit, a nice zero blitz to sack Russell Wilson. It's the 45-yard line. They get 5 yards. They're looking for a 55-plus field goal with Will fucking Lutz. Instead, it's 3rd and 10. Plus, you sack Russell Wilson. You run the same play. You run zero blitz with your corners. No awareness of your personnel. No awareness of the situation. No awareness that it's Sean Payton. No awareness that it's a veteran quarterback. Russell Wilson, Russell Wilson isn't what he used to be. But he knows you're bringing the blitz. Let him complete a pass underneath, tackle, and make them kick a long field goal. Instead, you get a pass interference because Taron Johnson can't cover Jerry Jeudy. He gets burnt, and it's a pass interference. It was a good call. You got to know the personnel and the matchups on the field. If you're a defensive coach, that was an atrocious call. And then you call not one, but 2 timeouts at the end of the game to stop the clock and make the Broncos rush on the field to kick the field goal. Smart move. But you missed a step. You didn't ensure that your team had 11 players and not fucking 12 on the football field. Boo! Get your head out of your rear end. What are you doing? You know they're going to knee. You should be on the sidelines as Sean Payton was with his team. You saw Sean Payton before the half and at the end of the game. You can see him on the broadcast. I don't have to be there to know that. You can see Sean Payton talking to his team. Okay, we're going to get ready. We're going to do this now. You can literally see him. Go back and watch the game. Sean McDermott is just sitting there like an idiot. What is he doing? At least talk to the special teams coordinator or somebody. The special teams captain. Somebody. What the fuck are you doing? So then, the people have the gumption, the absolute fortitude to get on Twitter, and this entire game has been made out to be a Josh Allen shit show. A Josh Allen, let's just get our shit off on Josh Allen right now because we never thought he would be good in the 2018 draft, so we've got to call him not an elite quarterback. Are you guys high? Like, how much cocaine are you snorting? Like, what? Are we watching the same team? Like, the Buffalo Bills, do I have to say this again? They allowed 29 points to the New England Patriots. I shouldn't have to say anything more. So they have the worst defense in the league. Their special teams can't get lined up. And we're going to sit here and blame Josh Allen. Okay? So Josh Allen this year has been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Statistically speaking, he has been arguably the best quarterback in the NFL. You go through his stats, as I will right now. Josh Allen is currently, Tuesday, November 14th, PFF's number 2 graded quarterback. And before the game on Monday night, he was number 1. He has since been passed by Jared Goff. He is first in completion percentage before last night. He is now second, tied with Lamar Jackson. He is third in passing touchdowns, if not second now. And he's first in total touchdowns by 4 touchdowns. He has 26 touchdowns to 22 touchdowns. Jalen Hurts is second. Jalen Hurts. Okay, so think of it this way. Jalen Hurts has 22 touchdowns. His team has 1 loss. Josh Allen has 26 touchdowns. His team has how many losses? 4, 5? I don't even know at this point. He's second in success rate. He's 7th in passer rating. He's second on target percentage, which means the ball's going where it needs to go on target. He's second in QBR, behind only Brock Purdy. Yes, he has interceptions. He has 5 games in a row with at least an interception. It's bad. But when you look at it, he's 7th in turnover-worthy plays. So that means he's one of the top 10 safest quarterbacks in football. You watched the game yesterday. The interception he threw was off the hands of Gabriel Davis, off his mitts. An overrated player that we have inflated due to one performance 3 years ago in the playoffs, in one game. And people want to say that's Josh Allen. No, sir. Josh Allen has been carrying the Buffalo Bills franchise since about 2020. Carrying. With a capital C. This is the most valuable quarterback in the league, probably. If you take Josh Allen off the Bills, they stink. Stunk. Top 10 worst team in the NFL. They have a top 5, top 10 pick in the league. Period. You even, let's say you put the 20th best quarterback in the NFL on this team. Let's say you put Baker Mayfield on the Buffalo Bills. They would be a 2-win team. They'd be fighting with the Patriots for the worst record in their division. Seriously. Because Josh Allen is the running game, the passing game, and the offensive line. His pressure to sack rate is top 3 in the NFL, which means he is pressured at a high rate and he doesn't get sacked. His offensive line, not very good. His run game, extremely inconsistent. His receivers, Stephon Diggs is really good. The others are Josh Allen products. Dalton Kincaid's young. He'll grow. He'll get better. He's shown some nice things. He has not been mistake-free the last few weeks. And defensively, they absolutely suck. And special teams, they can't line up. Whose fault is that? It's not Josh Allen's. So you might say, oh, he's throwing the ball to the other team. He has to make plays. He has to play hero ball. Because as we just saw, the offensive coordinator got fired because the offense isn't that creative. You don't watch the Bills and you say, oh, this is Kyle Shanahan. You don't sit there and say, this is Mike McDaniel. This is it's an okay scheme. It's fine. The thing that makes it work is Josh Allen being Josh Allen. The arm strength, the arm talent, the size, the speed. And yes, the intelligence at times. Is he a little crazy? Yeah, but that's his style of play. Like, it's what made Brett Favre great. It's what made John Elway great. This is the same type of player, Josh Allen. He's the same type of player as Brett Favre, as John Elway. That is what he is. An athletic monster that takes over games. He's going to make mistakes at times. But if you have a respectable team around him with respectable coaching, you have an elite team. Nothing about the Bills outside of number 17 is respectable. You have two players that carry the team, 14 and 17. James Cook is really talented. He barely gets the fucking ball. Why? I don't know. The defense stinks. So I don't want to hear this anymore. This is ridiculous. This narrative that Josh Allen's the reason they're losing is fucking ludicrous. It is unbelievable. It is one of the worst takes I've ever seen since being on YouTube. It's that bad. It is so, like, bottom line gross. Josh Allen is actually, he has the lowest turnover-worthy play rate of his career, according to PFF. And yet we're going to blame him for their struggles. The turnovers he's having are unlucky. They're really not his fault most of the time. And he's making more plays right now than any quarterback in football without anything special around him. The only reason this team is competitive is because of Josh Allen. Guys, I'm a Patriots fan. There's no reason for me to be defending the Buffalo Bills or Josh Allen. This team sucks. This coach sucks. Sean McDermott has to go. He brings down the vibes of the Buffalo Bills. He brings down Josh Allen. He holds them back. And the defense is not paying off either. It's time to go. See ya. Bring in an offensive guy with positive vibes. And you better do it sooner rather than later. Because this season might turn into a disaster if you don't. Now, I want to give a quick shout, and I know that was long, but I had to give that out, and that's probably going to be an individual video. I want to give a quick shout to the Broncos because they deserve it. Russell Wilson made a number of vintage plays in this game, like the little shovel passes, the little scrambles, third down conversions. Shout out to Sean Payton. He was criticized for a reason early on this year, but he's turned it around offensively. He's made Russell Wilson respectable. Javonte Williams running very hard. You love to see that. The O-line has improved. Cortland Sutton making toe tap receptions in the end zone. The defense under Vance Joseph, Justin Simmons, Pat Surtain, and these boys, Nick Bonito, who's playing great. These guys up front playing very good football. Zach Allen. Shout out to those guys, man. Broncos defense playing very well. Not to mention the Broncos defense has beaten the Chiefs and the Bills. And another point for Josh Allen. The Chiefs scored 9 points against the Broncos. So, are we really going to sit here and blame Josh Allen? Didn't they score 22 points? They could have had way more if it were not for fumbles. I don't know, man. I just don't know anymore. I don't understand this. Let's move on. Let's talk about Sunday Night Football. Las Vegas Raiders, New York Jets. This game basically came down to me. Poor coaching. I've been saying it for a couple weeks now. The New York Jets offensive coaching is bottom tier in the NFL. And it cost them this game. What cost them this game is not Zach Wilson. It's not the Jets. Even their offensive line. What cost them this game is coaching on offense. How many drives did the Jets have in this game that were stopped by pre-snap penalties, by details that the Jets offense misses each and every week? Robert Saleh preaches it. This Jets team, it's an example of Robert Saleh is a good defensive coach. He's a good motivator. Players like to play for him. He has no fucking idea what he's doing on offense, and it shows. Hackett is a disaster. This team takes so many penalties, and it's so similar to the Broncos last year on offense. False starts, illegal formations, illegal men downfield, holding. How many penalties do the Jets take that kill drives? This is not an offense, Zach Wilson or Aaron Rodgers, that could withstand this penalty luck. And it's not luck, right? They don't have a lot of talent on that offense. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, phenomenal. Played great again. They don't have, Alan Lazard is your number 2 receiver. That's all I gotta say. Like, at a certain point, we have to examine our offensive coaching and why we're taking so many penalties. Give credit to Antonio Pierce and the Raiders staff for another win. What I can say about the Raiders is they're pretty much the same team as what they were under McDaniels, except visually you can see they play with more energy. They play with more passion, more toughness, more grit. There's that extra percentage that they just work harder than they used to. And it's because of their belief in the program now. They had no belief in their leader, in their commander. Now they do. They believe. They play very similar, but they believe. Right? And Antonio Pierce and the Raiders staff, they had some inexperience during this game. Right before the half, instead of calling, a run to get into field goal range, take the field goal before half, they take 2 consecutive sacks, pushes them out of field goal range. Cost some points. They called a timeout on a 3rd and 14 during this game. If you watch this game, you understand that neither team was making and converting a 3rd and 14. That timeout nearly, if this game came down to the last possession, could have cost them the game. Because they didn't end up converting the 3rd and 14. There was literally no chance they were going to. Why take a timeout? Pet peeve of mine. And what I really noticed here is the Raiders wore down the Jets defense. For all the talk about the Jets defense being elite, and I think it is, especially in pass defense, because their offense isn't any good, they get worn down in games by the running game. Josh Jacobs, huge run near the end of the game. And you saw the Raiders winning the line of scrimmage late in this game, offense and defense. That speaks to the energy, the passion, but also the grit, the toughness. And they started to wear down the Jets up front running the football. And the Jets' run defense continues to be the Achilles heel of that unit. 2 for 2 on short yardage 4th downs. 1 handoff to DeAndre Carter. I believe the other was a quarterback sneak. Jets couldn't get stops there. Raiders out-gritted them, out-toughed them. 8 penalties, 83 yards on the Jets. So Jets fans, NFL fans, media alike, continue to blame Zach Wilson. Honestly, Zach Wilson wasn't that bad. I actually continue to back Robert Saleh with what he's saying to the media. Zach wasn't that bad. Why did we not score? We're taking holdings. We're going offside. We're false starting. You know what you have in Zach. He's not going to win you games by himself. You need to have a full team effort. You can't make these mistakes. It is what it is. The Raiders made less mistakes. They won the game. Period. Next. The San Francisco 49ers with a statement victory. And I wish I could play Ultra's Rant on BLV versus Consensus right now. I wish I could. And I will probably end up posting that on Instagram, maybe even on YouTube at some point, because it was hilarious. I told you, mother effers, you mother truckers, the San Francisco 49ers were going to come out and layeth the smackadowneth all over the Jacksonville Jags candy asses. And that's exactly what happened. The Niners defense was in form. And I could tell by the first play of the game, bro. Fred Warner flying around. Hair on absolute fire flames. They were pursuing the football with speed. You know the Niners are feeling themselves when their defense is attacking. The Niners defense plays their best when they're attacking, they're playing fast, and they have confidence in the plan. And what that speed means is they have confidence. You could see the last couple of weeks under Steve Wilkes and not at 100% for the defense. They weren't really that confident. They weren't playing with speed, with hunger, with passion. In this game, from the very first play, the 49ers whooped Jacksonville's ass at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football. There was one play in particular, a strip sack on Trevor Lawrence. Chase Young, Nick Bosa, and I believe it was Javon Hargrave. They strip sack Trevor Lawrence on a third down with a 3-man rush. Both Chase Young and Nick Bosa get to the quarterback, collide on Trevor Lawrence. Bosa ends up stripping the ball. Young actually got there first. Bosa made the play on the quarterback. Chase Young made a hell of an impact in his first game. He helped their run defense. Jacksonville couldn't run the ball. The Niners have been struggling with run defense. The Niners shut that thing down from the start. Jacksonville rarely at all ran the ball in this game. Chase Young, being on that opposite edge of Nick Bosa, made an impact as a pass rusher. Made an impact as a run defender. I saw more out of Javon Hargrave than I ever have all year. Of course, Eric Armstead came to play. And Fred Warner was spectacular. I can't say enough about Fred Warner. He was spectacular. Led by example. And there's so many things and so many directions I can go here. But this is what I said. You know, this is Kyle Shanahan off a bye. He was going to fix it. Like, this is what he does. Best coach in the league. I don't know how many times I got to say this. The offense was clicking from the start. They couldn't be stopped. The only way they were stopped was by themselves. The only way they were stopped was by penalties. Now, and this Jacksonville defense was really good all year long, especially against the run. And the Niners were pounding that rock down their throat. Christian McCaffrey had a pretty good game. And Brock Purdy, chef's kiss. Beautiful performance by Brock Purdy. Beautiful, 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 beautiful bounce back by Brock Purdy. This man played great. And people want to talk about Brock Purdy's system, Brock Purdy, all this stuff. Brock Purdy makes plays, man. Can we stop with the Brock Purdy is a system? Like, I love Kyle's system. I love the players they have on the Niners. I'm as big of a Kyle stan as there is. It would help me to say that Brock Purdy is a system quarterback. Brock Purdy makes plays. He scrambles around. He makes throws. He extends plays. He has vision. He has gumption. He has toughness. He has swag. The young man has swag. And the players believe in him. And there was throws in this game, man, he's making. Whew. Like, dude. You've got to see it for yourselves. There's like corner routes to Ayuk. Deep balls to Kittle. The first touchdown was risky as hell. That was not one of his best plays. And Shanahan said it himself. That was too risky. But it paid off when you trust a guy like Ayuk. But there was throws to Debo on the sideline. Like, these sideline out throws, like, what? These scrambles on third down, like, what? This man was unreal in this game. Unreal. The Niners played tighter coverage on defense, played aggressive, played in attacking fashion. It's what you love to see. And then you just saw on offense, like, Kyle's in his bag, man. He's good. He's got this I think he had a play where he's got Debo at running back. He fakes the handoff to Debo. They throw a screen to McCaffrey at wide receiver. Like, unbelievable stuff. And I've got to talk about Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence continues to be the most overhyped, overrated quarterback in the NFL. I've said it for a while now. Like, he is so overhyped. The entire offense is horizontal. He can't overcome a bad offensive line. They don't even really let him. I mean, if you've watched Jacksonville like I have, this guy's entire offense is manufactured. All his throws are off of like pick plays or like perfectly designed plays by Doug Peterson. He has a good receiving core. He has a great running back. There's no excuses here for Trevor Lawrence. His offensive line is not great, but if you're this generational guy, this great quarterback, we see Josh Allen, we see Patrick Mahomes, we see Lamar Jackson overcome bad offensive line play at times. Trevor Lawrence doesn't. He gets strip sacked. He can't handle the fucking ball. He misses throws that he shouldn't miss. He gets confused by defenses regularly. Like, I don't see what these people are seeing. I don't understand it. The entire offense is manufactured smoke screens. It's all bubble screens, horizontal crap. There's nothing down the field. He has, I bet you, I don't even need to look at the stat. I bet you he has the lowest like yards per attempt or lowest ADOT in the league. The man doesn't make any throws this year, and he doesn't make any plays. I've gone through entire games where people are giving Trevor Lawrence all this praise. The man escapes every bullet. I have never seen this man take one single shot. You see Josh Allen turn the ball over one itty-bitty time because Gabriel Davis can't catch the fucking ball, and you have Trevor Lawrence getting beat 34-3 by Mr. Irrelevant, and he takes no shots, bro. None. Give me a break. Josh Dobbs is outplaying this guy. Next, the Lions and the Chargers. Okay, so I was backing the Lions in this game. I had the most money I had on any team all week on the Lions. Thank you, Dan Campbell. And the Lions for coming through -2.5. Really appreciate that. But you made this way more nerve-wracking than I ever would have expected. If you would have told me the offensive success, the Lions 41 points, which I'm not all that shocked by the way, because it's Brandon motherfucking Staley. How does this guy have a fucking job? Please. Somebody tell me why Brandon Staley still has a job. Him and Sean McDermott, I don't know what type of circle, what type of group they are involved with, what blackmail they have on their organizations and their franchises. These guys are two peas in a pod, bro. Brandon Staley stinks. Why is he a coach? His defense can't make a stop. 4th and 2, game on the damn line, plays soft zone coverage. Congratulations. Masterclass by Brandon Staley is what I would call it. 533 yards by the Detroit Lions. The Lions went 4 for 13. 4 for 13 on 3rd down, and they had 533 yards. Imagine that. That means your early down defense is so bad that you can't get a stop. And then your 4th down defense, 5 times the Lions went for it on 4th down. I think they got stopped once. On the 1-yard line, they got stopped. So they could have had more points. How does this guy have a job? It's the highest paid defense in the NFL. And this guy still has a job. Justin Herbert probably played the best game of his season in this game. There is nothing I have to say about Justin Herbert other than this guy played amazing. Justin Herbert was incredible in this game. Jared Goff played great. The Lions offense played great. Montgomery, Gibbs, St. Brown, all great. Keenan Allen, unreal performance. Justin Herbert was the best player on the field. By far. How this guy made this game competitive is unbelievable. Nobody's open. Nobody. Nobody is open. Now, the refs had a hand in it. Every third down, it felt like the Chargers got a first down because of some sort of defensive holding or pass interference or something. But Herbert, like, the Lions, bro, do you know that number 13 is the guy you have to cover? Like, Lions fans, can you tell the Lions to cover number 13? I still don't think they've covered number 13 yet. Because that's literally the only guy that made plays for the Chargers. Number 13. By the way, Austin Eckler is washed. He can't catch the ball. He stinks. Like, Josh Kelly is better than Austin Eckler. Bold take. Austin Eckler stinks. He is done. Finito. Throw him in the fucking trash can. Justin Herbert is a beast. He has no one on his offense right now. And he scored 38 points. I don't even know how that happened. I really don't know. That's all I got to say. Lions, defense, you got to be worried about, man. Your defense looked like trash. Trash. But your offense is spectacular. Jared Goff's playing really good football. You got to give them credit. But, man, Brandon Staley, bro. All right, next up. Josh Dobbs magic once again. I just don't know what to say about this guy, Josh Dobbs. Is there a better vibes team in the NFL right now than the Minnesota Vikings? When you put out TikToks of yourself rushing for a touchdown at home to creeds higher, I don't think vibes get higher than Josh Dobbs and the Minnesota Vikings. Justin Jefferson's not even playing right now, and the vibes are through the roof. No Osborne in this game. They dismantled the Saints. The game was, I think, 24-7, 24-3, 24-3 at halftime. Josh Dobbs, unbelievable some of the plays this guy made in this game. He had a great run with 3:30 left in the first half. That's the play I'm referring to. On third down for a scramble touchdown. Remember when I said, hey, this guy's going to have success running the football against the Saints? We saw that on a couple occasions. And the Saints were somewhat prepared for it, for him scrambling to the right. Dobbs on that play looks to scramble to the right, comes back left, runs for a touchdown. The first drive of the game, I'm not going to lie, he should have been picked off. He escaped it. The vibes are too high to be picked off. Great scramble and a pass to Hawkinson on 3rd and 5 in the second quarter, setting up a touchdown drive. TJ Hawkinson was unbelievable in this game. Shout out to Durkamp for making him an All-Pro for his midseason All-Pro team. That was a good take. TJ Hawkinson without Justin Jefferson, without Osborne, only Addison. He's the feature man. He was going off in the first half. They couldn't stop that guy. They couldn't stop him. Dobbs was really good. And you look at this Vikings team, and whatever they lost with Kirk Cousins as a pocket passer, they have added with Josh Dobbs' legs. 8 attempts, over 40 yards rushing. Obviously the touchdown. He extends plays. He makes magic happen. He's smart with his decision making. He's smart with the offense. He makes all the throws that are there to be had. And he adds a layer with his running game. A couple designed runs. I'd love to see more from the offense. That can really help your running game as well if you add some designed runs. And then Jefferson's going to come back. It's going to make the run game easier, the pass game easier, explosive plays easier. Right? Defenses have to double team him. It's going to open up Addison more for him. And then the last thing I have to say here is Brian Flores, man. Is there a more valuable coordinator in the NFL right now than Brian Flores and what he's done for the Vikings? You look at the Vikings defense right now, very good lately. Since the 0-3 start, Brian Flores has this defense 4th in pass fourth in points against, fifth in defensive efficiency, fifth in defensive EPA, fifth in takeaways, and seventh in yards allowed. That is unbelievable. That is sensational for Brian Flores to have this defense at a top 5 level. With who on the defense? Who? Nobody knows these guys. And this guy, Brian Flores, has one of the most creative, fun to watch, and opportunistic defenses in all of football. And they're playing fundamentally sound. They're playing smart defense each and every week. They can't be ran on. They're blitz heavy. They're aggressive. They make plays. They change games. And they win games. Talk about a coaching staff. O'Connell, Flores. You throw a little Josh Dobbs magic on top, you got yourself a heck of a vibes team in Minnesota. Can't wait. I want them in the playoffs. I think they're a playoff team right now. The Vikings. Next up, the Bucs. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Are they the best team in the NFC South? They dominated the Titans on Sunday. Very low-key result that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. I thought the Bucs defense bounced back in a big way against the Titans. You know, Will Levis had been playing pretty well. People have been praising him. He had his worst game here because of the Bucs defense. The Titans, I mean, the fact of the matter is they can't play on the road. Their offensive line is shit. They allow too much pressure, too many sacks. I'm not going to really say Will Levis is at fault here. But you look at the Bucs, I think their offense continues to improve. Mike Evans looks great. I think the difference between Mike Evans last year and this year is how the offensive coordinator's using him in the slot more, using more motion with Mike Evans than Byron Leftwich ever did. Mike Evans had a huge game. 6 catches, 143 yards, and a touchdown. And really the difference in this game, the Bucs and the Titans, was explosive plays and quarterback maturity. That was the difference. Baker Mayfield playing at a top 20 level at quarterback right now. He really is Baker, the commercial maker. Nick Folk finally missed a damn field goal. Finally. He did. But explosive plays by the Bucs won them this game. Long Rachaad White screen touchdown for about 40, 50 yards. Mike Evans had a long catch of 43 yards, which set up another drive. And a 22-yard touchdown to Mike Evans later on was another explosive play. If the Bucs actually had a running game, they would be like a competent playoff threat, in my opinion. They have no running game to speak of. But a lot of their offense is predicated off of play action. What Baker always did well at the NFL level, play action pass. Intermediate, deep passing. That's what Baker does well. And it fits Mike Evans really well. It fits Chris Godwin well. It fits the Bucs really well right now. They need to find a way to get more out of their running game, though. Because without a running game, it makes them too much predicated on third and distance, third and long, and it's just tough with that team. But the defense needed to bounce back. They did after being embarrassed by young CJ Stroud. Next up, the Packers and the Steelers. The Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I have a little bit of rant. I have a little bit of a rant here. I'm fed up with the Green Bay Packers analysis. Like, I am fed up. Jordan Love stinks. Jordan Love stinks. I made a video this offseason. I said I love Love. Like, I loved the progression I saw from Jordan Love as a backup under Aaron Rodgers in comparison to his early career and his draft. I was impressed. This year, though, Jordan Love is basically Zach Wilson. Like, they're the same guy. Their mechanics are off constantly. They throw inaccurate passes. They aren't confident in their arm or their accuracy to throw tight window throws. Actually, I'd say Zach is probably better in that regard. Zach is probably better at scrambling. Like, you could make a serious argument Zach Wilson's better than Jordan Love. Like, Jordan Love is that bad. He doesn't throw the ball into tight windows effectively. He only throws to wide open players. All his production is in yards after catch plays or on screens. He doesn't really effectively manipulate the pocket. He doesn't escape pressure extremely well. He's okay in that facet. He's not accurate. He makes mistakes. Like, what does Jordan Love do that makes you say he's better than even Zach Wilson? That's how bad we're talking about right here. And yet we have people talking about the receiving core, Christian Watson, blaming him for these games. Like, dude, are you guys watching the same plays? Like, I had to go through them because, like, fantasy owners are obviously fed up with Christian Watson because Christian Watson was drafted high in their fantasy drafts. Watch the fucking game, okay? So you go through it. The first interception Jordan Love throws, that late interception, that was awful. He throws it into double coverage, and the corner gets his arm on the ball. It's batted into the air and picked off. There was no chance for Watson to catch this pass. Like, what are we talking about here? Yeah, Watson dropped one pass for a gain of 4 on a 3rd down and 8. It doesn't matter that he dropped that pass. Like, what difference does that make? He would have been short of the sticks anyways. And then there's another pass. You know, he throws the ball way behind him on a 4th down late in the game. Jordan Love, way behind him. He's targeting Christian Watson again, running down the seam. He throws the ball behind him. What is he supposed to do? Like, Jordan Love stinks. He's terrible. Like, he's really bad. He's not it. I'm trying to tell you. And the Steelers win another game where they're outgained. You know, Kenny Pickett isn't very good. But what you can say about Kenny Pickett, he has the gumption. The 4th quarter, man, this guy comes through. He makes plays. He makes throws. He scrambles for a 3rd down to seal the game. Like, that's Kenny Pickett. He has something to him. He has a gamer nature. He's got the, like, Ryan Fitzpatrick. I don't think this guy's very good. His arm strength constantly underwhelms. His accuracy at times is a bit hit and miss. His composure in the pocket is I'm not a fan of. But what you can say about Pickett, the guy has confidence. He doesn't get really bothered at all throughout a game. He stays composed. He's tough. And he makes plays in the 4th quarter when it's there to be had. And he trusts his receivers. And he puts the ball in a place where his receivers can make plays on one-on-ones. The Steelers, the biggest thing I learned from them this week, their run game is really starting to get a lot better. They ran the ball all over the Packers in this game. They ran the ball well last week against Tennessee, I thought. They ran the ball well again with Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris, both running the rock really, really well. And you've got to say this about the Packers, man. They need to hit reset. I think they have to. I don't know if I want to fire Matt LaFleur. I think they need a new quarterback. I think they need a new defensive coordinator. I've been saying for years you need a new defensive coordinator. What do the Packers do on defense that is their identity? You think about all the assets that have been thrown at this defense by their general manager, Brian Gutekunst, or however you say his name. This is not his fault. Like, Packers fans are probably going to blame him or whatever. The defense has individually good players. Like, you watch them. I'm impressed with Quay Walker. I'm impressed with Devontae Wyatt. I love Rashawn Gary. I think Jair Alexander's elite. I think there's a lot of guys on this defense. Kenny Clark, really good football players. Devondre Campbell, really good football player. Like, a lot of these signings and draft picks have panned out in a way where individually the players are good. The unit stinks. And the reason is the coaching. It's the same with the Browns last year and the year before that in Cleveland. Like, it's the defensive coordinator. How can you not see this? The Steelers ran all over the Packers all day long. Like, how are you not defending the Steelers' offense in goal line at this point? How do you let the Steelers just run the ball down your throat for the entire first drive? How do you not come out and establish that we're going to make Kenny Pickett beat us with his arm? and not let them have easy runs up the middle, gashing your defense right down your throat. I mean, it's unbelievable, man. Unbelievable how bad this coordinator is. It's unbelievable. And Jordan Love sucks. Stop it with the Jordan Love. Stop. Stop blaming Christian Watson or whoever else on the offense for the lack of productivity. The quarterback stinks. He doesn't want to throw tight window throws. He always makes the bad decision in the big moment. And he's just bad. His mechanics stink. The defense blows. Stop it. Next. Kyler Murray, beep, beep, is back. Beep, beep. The Roadrunner has returned, baby. I love to see it. You know, I've been critical of Kyler in moments throughout his career, but I feel like he played really good for his return game here in this game. That one run he had was very cool to see. That big conversion late in the game, running, escaping pressure to the left, runs all the way back around the offensive line, through the defense, up the field for a first down. Before the half, he had a couple clutch runs, one for a touchdown. I loved seeing him more under center a lot more, but when you're talking about Kyler Murray, man, this is a quarterback that, despite his faults of being a little bit small and having some issues seeing over his offensive line and throwing the ball over the intermediate level of the field, there's certainly been issues there. If you give this guy structure on offense and you give this guy a couple playmakers to work with, he is a special player. Like, he's got special traits. This is a guy you can build around. I don't know if this is a guy that you necessarily move off of right away. Like, he's got an arm. Like, he's got a top 5, top 6 arm in the NFL. He's one of the quickest athletes we've ever seen at quarterback. He's fast. He can run. You can put design runs in your package. And defenses have to contain him. They have to be aware of his quickness and his rushing ability. He's really good on the move. He's really good outside the pocket. How do we try to really work towards, Kyler outside the pocket? And I think we saw here, in this game, give him a couple guys. Trey McBride looks like a real player at tight end, had a career game, a breakout game. I loved him coming out of the draft. I thought he was easily the best tight end in his class last year. And finally, they're getting him the football. I really like his toughness, his route running ability. He's a good athlete. Just looks the part of a good tight end in this league. He can be something. Hollywood Brown is a good player. Like, the offensive line is pretty solid for the Cardinals overall. Like, they've got a decent offense. They don't have a great offense by any means, but you put Kyler Murray more under center, you get him on the move a little bit more. That's how you have to work with Kyler Murray. Like, you got to get him outside the pocket on the move. That's where he's special, right? That's what he can do. And I think we saw that a lot in this game, especially early. He's definitely a top 15 quarterback in the league. Maybe he's not top 10 right now. We'll see how he continues to progress. But definitely top 15. There's no doubt about it. And you put him on a good team, he can be a guy you can really win with. Like, are there some of the things off the field you might not love? But he's still young. Like, can he mature maybe, potentially? That's also something where, if you're asking me who's more talented, who's more gifted, Kyler Murray or Trevor Lawrence, who's the better player? I'm not so sure. I'm not saying Kyler Murray. That might be a crazy take. But Kyler Murray's quickness, Kyler Murray's speed, Kyler Murray's ability on the move is special. And his arm is every bit as good. He's really, his accuracy for a year off of football was awesome. Like, credit to Kyler, man. Getting ready. Like, clearly, like, a guy that doesn't love football doesn't come back and look like that in his first game. They look more like Deshaun Watson, right? So, Kyler, give him credit. Bijan Robinson finally scored a touchdown. That was cool. Desmond Ridder was back for the Falcons. I don't even want to talk about the Falcons. They're an absolute disaster. Next, the Baltimore Ravens did it again, man. They collapsed once again. I don't know how this team does it. I really don't. I don't know how they find a way to collapse every single time. This team is 7-3. So the Baltimore Ravens are a 7-3 football team, and yet there are more than one, statistical breakdowns. You could go through the stats. It's pretty evident, like, they're the best team in the league, statistically speaking. This team has only trailed during this season for 28 minutes. That is, like, in the top 3 all-time, least amount of time trailed through 10 games. Top 3 all-time. This team had top 3 all-time DVOA through 10 games. They have 3 losses. And they're all in collapsing fashion. And what I have to say about this is, because I think first people are going to say, well, that's Lamar Jackson. No, because typically when you're winning in a game, the quarterback isn't throwing the ball. You're handing it off. Especially a team like the Ravens, who believes in their defense, believes in their punting, their kicking, their special teams, and believes in their run game. There's no reason for Lamar to really be aggressive and throw the ball down the field, and maybe they need to change that. Maybe Lamar should be more of an element of, let's close this game out with Lamar's arm instead of Lamar's legs or the run game, right? So that's something to think about there. But this game was just, like, I don't even know what to say. Like, I bet the Ravens minus 5.5. I felt really good about that, honestly, especially after the first play of the game, which was a pick 6 for the Ravens. They went up 7-0, just like that. It was like the second play of the game. 2nd and 6 for the Browns on their first possession. Pick 6. Kyle Hamilton comes off the edge on a blitz, tips the ball, runs it back for a touchdown. Easy. Right? Up 7-0. Lamar didn't even touch the ball yet. This game, 24-9 for the Ravens with 5 minutes left in the third. I'm thinking it's a wrap. It's easy. 5.5. No chance. 24-17. The Browns muff a punt inside their 20-yard line. I think it was inside their 15 or 10-yard line. Muff a punt. The Ravens get it back. They go up 31-17. In the fourth quarter, 14-point lead with arguably the best defense in the league. I'm thinking it's a wrap. 5.5 points. You kidding me? Easy money. Easiest money I've ever made. After that, 31-17. The Browns score a touchdown on offensive possession. The Browns immediately get a pick 6 on a pass by Lamar Jackson that went off somebody's head, bounced off somebody's head at the line of scrimmage, bounced into the air, got picked off by Newsome, and ran back for a touchdown. Absolute fluke. Then the Browns still miss an extra point to make the game 31-30. The Ravens get the ball back, fail to run the clock out. Again, run the clock out. They didn't put the ball in Lamar's hands necessarily. The Browns get the ball. They get a drive for a game-winning kick. Very fluky result. On top of that, the Ravens lost both of their starting tackles in the third quarter, and you could tell because whenever they dropped back to pass with Lamar Jackson, it was trouble. Myles Garrett, the great Browns defense, came to play, was opportunistic, made plays, got pressure, made sacks, forced, Lamar to scramble and only pick up 6 yards on a 3rd and 12, something like that, right? And it's just another crazy game for the Ravens. Like, this is becoming a trend. They've got to get this under wraps. They've got to get this handled because they are far too good of a team for this to happen. Top 3 in DVOA. 28-46 trailing through 10 games. Like, they're far too good. By the way, they have to get Keaton Mitchell the ball more. This guy's unbelievable. Every time he touches the ball, it's almost a touchdown. Like, get him the ball. Zay Flowers, get him the ball. He had a good game in this one. I thought that for the Browns, I thought all their corners played really, really well. They played very sticky man coverage throughout the game. I felt like Myles Garrett had a pretty good game, especially late to make some big pressures in big moments. I felt the D-line really stopping the run of the Ravens was a key difference in them getting back in the game. And I felt like that block field goal before the half, instead of being 17, it was 17-6, I believe. Instead of being 20-6 for the Ravens, it becomes 17-9, which is a one possession game after half. That was a huge play, that block field goal. So, a pretty fluky game. But ultimately, you look at it in the fourth quarter, Deshaun Watson, 7 for 7, 81 yards in the fourth quarter. They allowed eight first downs, that Ravens defense, in the fourth quarter. You didn't expect that to happen. Credit the Browns offense for getting plays and making plays in the fourth quarter. And credit Deshaun Watson for a good fourth quarter. But this is mostly like the Ravens blowing a game. It mostly is. Block field goal. Interception for 6. It's mostly them blowing a game. But if you were to say one thing about this game, 178 rushing yards for the Cleveland Browns. I thought Ford played an exceptional game. Kareem Hunt made a number of powerful runs in the game that made a difference. His touchdown run was impressive. 8 for 16 on third down, the Browns were, which is impressive against this defense and how creative they are. Like, Browns stepped up when they needed to. When they got the opportunity to shine, they did. They are a good, talented football team. If I'm trying to project forward, I'm still not a fan of Deshaun Watson and how he's playing. Overall, still didn't feel like he played that well. He just throws the ball funky. Like, the way he's throwing the ball, I am fading that idea moving forward. That's my take. The headline of the week, it has to go once again to CJ Stroud. And I've gone on soliloquies about this kid week after week after week. And I've got to admit it. I've got to say, shout out to Durkant. The man said CJ Stroud is his MVP. Dan Orlovsky, the man that ran through the end zone for Detroit, said he's the MVP. Kind of laughed it off a little bit. As much as I love CJ Stroud, I said he was going to be a superstar. He's going to be sensational. A rookie winning MVP, it just doesn't sit right with me. It just doesn't feel accurate, But to beat a championship pedigree defense, coming from behind like the Bucs one week, going on the road, all the hype in the world, all the press clippings, every podcast, every TV show, every ESPN show, all of them talking about CJ Stroud and how great he is. To come back and just outplay Joe Burrow and a masterclass on the road against an AFC elite team, that is just real shit right there. That is just superstar. That is undeniably great. Undeniable MVP performance right here by CJ Stroud. And I'm going to continue to go through what I see from CJ Stroud because it's next level. For a rookie quarterback, I've never seen a quarterback that is a rookie. Texans fans, man, you guys should feel unbelievable that you have your quarterback for the next decade. This guy is so good. I knew it before. I knew it when he was drafted. I felt it. CJ Stroud's that dude. He should have went first. I saw it on the tape at Ohio State. Did I ever think he'd be this good as a rookie? No. This guy is so good. And it's not just in the ways of, traditional, he makes a lot of throws. He makes a lot of plays. He does. He also doesn't make mistakes. Like, this kid made one mistake in the game that got the Bengals back in the game, and it nearly cost the team the game. But for him to come back from that mistake and respond and go on a game-winning drive after that mistake, like, that is Tom Brady level shit right there. That is all-time Joe Montana great stuff. Like, that is as good as it gets. It really truly is. I'm not being hyperbole here. Like, let's go through this game and what I saw from the Bengals and the Texans. And we're going to continue to go on this soliloquy about Stroud. But this team, the Texans team, more than just Stroud, they have great potential. On Bleacher Report, I picked them after this game to win this division. I believe they will win this division. the way they're playing on offense is so light years beyond the Jaguars. Light years. It's not even close. It's not even competition. It's not even comparable. The way Stroud is playing to Trevor Lawrence, it's not even comparable. The way the receivers, the offense, the way it's schemed, all of it. And I thought a key difference in this game that I think really helped Stroud was the run game. Devin Singletary had a really awesome game, which I think is concerning for the Bengals because the Texans haven't been able to run the ball all year. Now, maybe they found something in this game, but that's not a good sign for the Bengals. They weren't tackling well. They weren't attacking the running back or the ball carrier very well. They weren't defending the run. It was outside zone, a little inside zone, but it was classic Shanahan stuff from Bobby Slowick here. And he was able to tie that together outside zone early. You could tell that was like a big part of the game plan. Let's get these runs in so that we have the defense thinking run. We can pull back with play action and hit them with crosser after crosser after crosser. And that's what we've seen from the Texans all year long on offense. Play action boot, play action crosser, stretch run, bam, we're going to hit it with Stroud. And Stroud hits every throw. He just hits every throw on the bullseye. That was his biggest skill in college. That's his biggest skill in the pros. Anticipation, accuracy, precision. And then, man, the calmness, the composure, the ad-libbing has taken a next step, a leap from even the Georgia tape, where this man is outside. He's in his own 10-yard line, running outside the numbers, throwing the ball back across the field on a third down for a conversion. Like, this guy looked like Joe Burrow in this game with a stronger arm. That's not hyperbole. CJ Stroud looked like Joe Burrow, the way he ad-libbed, bought time, escaped pressure, with a stronger arm. That's how good this kid is. He is unbelievable. And you're looking at this, Joe Burrow on the other side, he nearly pulled a Tom Brady. He played like ass in the first quarter, and he nearly made that comeback in the end. And he probably should have. Tyler Boyd dropped the ball in the end zone. And if that happens, the Bengals win this game. So when you're looking at it from that lens for the Bengals, they started slow. They were shocked. It felt like they were shook by how good the Texans were. You could kind of tell. Especially the Texans defense who came to play in this game. Derek Stingley made a difference. Just the ability to match up with Jamar Chase and having familiarity with that matchup from LSU and the school, matchup there. But it felt like the Texans front was unbelievable early in this game. It took a long time for the Bengals to figure it out. Like, Sheldon Rankins was a dog in this game. He had 3 sacks, 11 pressures. He was unreal. I thought Greenard was really good. Will Anderson made some plays. But D'Amico Ryans had a great game plan, suffocating the pocket, getting interior pressure, forcing Burrow to always be aware of it, not being able to step up and make throws and be able to manipulate it the way he typically does, And a lot of throws were difficult into coverage for Burrow. Like, even that touchdown to Chase by Burrow was unbelievable. That throw on the move, you can't even really say that's bad defense. Yeah, you let him get outside containment, but Burrow makes a freaking missile down the field to Jamar Chase, who's just ridiculous, for a touchdown. And then they just started to gain a little bit of momentum. I mean, guys, look, the Texans had 3 turnovers in this game, and they still beat the Bengals on the road. That is crazy. That speaks volumes to how good the Texans offense is. Noah Brown was unbelievable. He kept getting open on these deep crossing routes. The Bengals, they're going to have to go back to the lab with that defense a little bit with Big Lou and see what really happened here. But man, Slowick took Big Lou to school, and Stroud was just hitting everything. And when the first play wasn't there, the second play was there. That's what's so impressive for Stroud for me. He knows how to work within these scenarios where the first play isn't there, the first throw isn't there. He buys time, he buys enough time, he manipulates the pocket, he shifts his body, and it's just like a little, he almost has like this little fadeaway throw where he'll just he doesn't really sidearm like Mahomes, but he'll overhand kind of flick it, and it's just effortless touch, effortless arm power and strength, and just the ability to his receivers and him to be on the same page on these plays is Unbelievable for a young quarterback. Like, I really can't say enough. Like, I can go through all the plays. I have all of the notes here. Like, Bobby Sloak's got to be a future head coach. If you've got a head coach opening, Patriots, you should be interviewing this guy. Guy is legit. Okay, guy is legit. Shanahan, best coach in the league. I've said it many times. This guy just continues to churn out these dudes. Like, I don't know what these guys learned from Kyle Shanahan, but they just become coaches. But, like, there's throws here. 2nd and 5 with 1:50 remaining in the first half. CJ Stroud scrambles outside the 10-yard line, throws to Noah Brown, who gets to the 45-yard line. That's a 35-yard throw across his body. 3rd and 13, another strike to Noah Brown with a blitz in his face. Leads to a field goal drive. 2nd and 7, drive after the half. Stroud runs in circles away from pressure to his right and finds Noah Brown in Cincinnati territory. Pocket mobility, escapability, poise, and accuracy. 2nd and 4, later on the same drive. Play action, looks right, throws a fadeaway back shoulder to John Mechie at the 6-yard line. Unbelievable throw. 3rd and goal on the same drive. Robert Woods steps out of bounds, or it would have been a touchdown, running away from pressure to his right in double coverage, puts the ball in Robert Woods' hands. That play didn't even count. Then I put, how is Noah Brown so wide open everywhere? I mean, unbelievable. Unbelievable game. And he threw a stupid pick. Up 10 points. 27-17. Cam Taylor-Britt, one of the best corners in the league right now, runs that thing back inside the 10-yard line, makes it a game, 27-24. The Bengals, they're able to tie it up later in the game after Boyd drops that touchdown on 3rd and goal. And then you've got 1:30 remaining, rookie quarterback. Like, this is not normal stuff for a rookie quarterback. It's 27-27 in Cincinnati. Cincinnati just made an insane comeback. You threw a pick to lead to this comeback. CJ Stroud, 1:30 left, 1 timeout. Not 2, not 3. 1 timeout. He goes out there, he gets a field goal like it's no problem. First play, drop by Tank Dell, wide open. Would have been a huge explosive play. Wide open, Tank Dell drops the ball. Tank Dell's great, by the way. He just drops the ball once a game. 3rd and 6 at their own 29. All the momentum on the Bengals side. CJ Stroud hits Dalton Schultz for a 25-yard gain right down the seam. And I, as a Bengal backer this week, as a guy that was shocked to see them down by so many points, shocked to see them come back and actually believe I had a chance to cover this bet, to see that at 27-27, CJ Stroud, 3rd and 6, all the momentum in the world on the Bengals side, hits Dalton Schultz. I literally said out loud, unbelievable. I said out loud, that is unbelievable. I cannot believe he just did that. Like, I was like, wow, unbelievable. I threw my hands in the, I'm like, this guy's unbelievable. I'm never betting against this guy. I made the decision. I'm never betting against this guy again. I was like, how the fuck? Like, really? This is unbelievable. So, in many ways, this Texans team reminds me of the 2021 Bengals. I don't think they're quite as talented, but this team is very, very I think this team is going to continue to be underrated. I just feel like people don't quite understand what they're watching. And they're just going to continue to go through this. And it is what it is now. That is the game that fully stamps the Texans are for real. Texans are the best team in this division, period. The Texans are going to win this division, and CJ Stroud should be taken seriously for MVP. Do I think he'll actually end up winning it? Probably not, because he's not going to be the number 1 seed in his conference. It's probably going to be like Jalen Hurts or something like that. But unbelievable. I just can't say anything more. And the last topic. I've of course got to end with my New England Patriots and their disgusting game against the Indianapolis Colts. I don't really need to talk about this game, to be honest with you. You guys kind of know. Like, it was 10-6. It was boring. It is what it is. The one play that everyone's talking about is the Mac Jones interception. The Patriots had a chance to win this game late. They drive down the field. Mac Jones throws one of the worst passes you've ever seen in your life short of Mike Gesicki in the end zone, open, throws it right to the other team. That is the play that ended Mac Jones' tenure as the quarterback in New England. And that is the play that officially killed any hope for me to say that Mac Jones is the future at quarterback for this team. It took me a long time, but it officially is what it is. Like, yeah, the situation isn't good. The team sucks. The offensive line is horrible. The receiving core is one of the worst in the league. But at the end of the day, he just isn't it for this team. It's not going to happen. It's sad. I like Mac. I loved him coming out of college. Thought he had a great rookie season. It's just not it. Team needs to start over. Team needs to start over in all facets. The New England Patriots need a new coach. Bill Belichick is not a good football coach at this point. He's just not. He's a good defensive coach. I'd still give him credit there. Most of the time, his defense shows up no matter the personnel, and they play a good game, as they did against the Colts. The Colts have a good offense. They move the ball. They score points against a lot of teams. They didn't in that game. They only scored 10 points. You should win a game where you're allowing 10 points. You should win that game, especially against the Colts, who have a middling defense. I'd like to give a shout out for the performances of Ramondre Stevenson. Thought he played a good game. Thought Zeke played a good game. I thought that Demario Douglas continued to show that he is a promising young player on this team. Is he a number one receiver? No. Don't get it twisted. But he's a young, promising player that I like. The defense. I felt like Tavai had one of the best games of his career. I thought that Sean Wade played a really good game. I thought that overall, Christian Barmore continues to show that he is a stud. And the defense overall did what they had to do. They did what they had to do. The offense, it's broken. In this NFL in 2023, you need an offense to win. You need an offense to score points to win games. We need to start over here. With the first pick for the Patriots, they should be looking for a quarterback. There should be no excuses to not take a quarterback in this draft. If you have to, you trade up. If you have to. But I'm not sure they'll have to. They should have a top 5 pick this year. They're that bad right now. They can't score any points. And their defense isn't consistently going to hold teams to 10 points. I've got to say, though, like, Bill Belichick is fully at fault. Like, Bill Belichick should be gone. Bill Belichick is the general manager. Bill Belichick is the head coach. Bill Belichick is the man in charge. Bill Belichick is the man in charge. He wants to be praised for success. Sure, you won 6 Super Bowls in large part because you had Tom Brady. Now that you have failed, you are also held responsible. And I think he would say, yeah, I am. He has drafted poorly. He has an infrastructure of a team that doesn't fit the current generation of football. He's washed. It's the best way to put it. He's past his prime. He's done. He doesn't get it anymore. He's done. He's washed. General manager hasn't done a good enough job to surround a quarterback with anything competent. And in that case, bringing in 3 offensive coordinators, new offensive linemen, revolving door at receiver, no talent around Mac Jones. He has literally broke Mac Jones. Mac Jones, I fully believe the rookie season of Mac showed that he could be a solid, if not good, quarterback in the NFL. And even times this year and last year, we've seen good things out of Mac. But Bill is fully responsible for fucking that up. And there's no doubt about it. Now, that being said, Mac Jones, he's not the guy either. He's got to go. We need a new coach. We need a new quarterback. And I want a quarterback that is more athletic than a Mac Jones. I do. I hope we can find one. I really think that this football team, if given one offseason with salary cap and a high draft pick, the state of the AFC East, to be positive here, it's looking pretty bleak. The Bills are at the end of their tenure and their run right now, it feels like. The Dolphins can't beat a good team. The Jets have an old quarterback with an Achilles tear or Zach Wilson. The Patriots with one offseason, if they find a guy even close to the level of CJ Stroud with a top 5 pick and a generational quarterback class, it feels like, they've got a chance. So, yeah, that's all I got to say. I mean, I'm tired. I'm tired of it. I'm done. Like, thank you for your services, Bill Belichick. I'm done with you. I want to move on. We've got some young guys we can build off of. I'm currently questioning the entire roster. I'm currently, and this is the thing, guys, you can't be attached to any of these players moving forward, because if you're going to move on from Belichick, the next coach has all the right in the world, and the next regime has all the right in the world to reevaluate who should be here, who should not be here, which players should they bring in, what system are they going to run. For the first time in a long time, it's going to be a situation where I'm unaware of the type of football the Patriots are going to play, which is a scary thought. And it's going to take an adjustment. But it's a welcomed adjustment. Thank you guys for tuning into my review of Week 10. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, Gronk spike the like button, subscribe. Check out my power rankings and my Week 11 picks coming soon. Thanks. Peace.